Burning Shores is finally here, and there's a bunch of tips you should know to get the most out of this DLC for Horizon Forbidden West. We'll cover everything without spoiling any of the main story, and I also won't spoil any new machines or anything major like that either. Thanks to PlayStation for hooking me up with a review code so I could get started a bit early and focus in on all the really valuable tips for you guys. The Burning Shores DLC requires patch 1.21 for the base game on PS5, and this patch brings a few changes worth noting even if you're not playing Burning Shores. In addition to some new accessibility settings like colorblind modes and the thalassophobia mode, which makes underwater exploration a bit less scary, we also got a new auto pickup option that allows Aloy to pick up resources like berries and ridgewood by simply running through them. It only works when you have inventory space for them though, so if your inventory is full and you want to pick up resources, you'll just need to hit triangle like normal and they'll go to your stash. I think a lot of people will also like the navigation assist setting that will point you in the right direction for a quest or waypoint marker by first using the focus and then tapping L1. Another one you might want to try out is auto camera, which allows the camera to automatically swing around following the direction Aloy's facing. Patch 1.21 also kills the infinite jump, a trick many of us use to do the infinite resource duplication glitch at the arena. Without infinite jumps, the arena glitch is dead, at least until someone figures out how to get out of the arena without it. However, the Whisper Hunter Bow flipping trick to get free shards still works, so if you want to farm up some shards, I'll link my video on that down below. It's also pretty cool to see that once you complete the Burning Shores main quests, a new tier of arena challenges unlock, and you'll get some pretty nice rewards for beating them, such as new legendary outfit weaves and Brimshine, which we'll talk about more in a minute. As for actually starting the DLC itself, which you can do once you've completed Singularity, the final main quest in the base game, you should know that the difficulty will remain locked on ultra hard if you're already on that difficulty heading in. If you had ghost levels beyond level 50, they'll be temporarily reset to 50 until you reach the new max level of 60, at which point you'll get your ghost levels back. Just like in Frozen Wilds, the new max level of 60 gives us 100 more HP, so Aloy now maxes out at 800 instead of 700. It's also worth noting that if you go into the Burning Shores on a New Game Plus save, you'll get Champions tokens for completing quests and side content just like on the main map, which is pretty nice if you're still working towards purchasing some of the New Game Plus legendary weapons. Oh, and similar to playing through the base game, check back at the base to see if there's new items available in the stash between main quests. You can snag some pretty nice loot this way, but let's talk about playing the Burning Shores content itself, and my first major tip is to pace yourself. The main quest line is very good, but it's also pretty short, like you could definitely complete it in a weekend or even a single day if you focus on it. So to avoid feeling like it ended too quickly, I'd highly recommend doing as much side content as possible between main missions. Fortunately, there's a good amount of interesting side content to do. The side quests have been fun, so definitely pick those up as soon as you can. Plus, a few of them will reward you with some pretty solid legendary gear items, like the Quen Deadeye outfit, a really solid stealth option that comes from the Splinter Within quest, or the new Last Argument Spike Thrower that finally brings us legendary drill spikes, something I've wanted for a long time. This one comes from completing the side mission associated with the Murmuring Hollow Relic Ruin, located over here on the map. I don't want to spoil it, but I highly recommend heading over there as soon as you can. And not just for the spike thrower, the Relic Ruin itself was cool, and there's another fun surprise there that I think pretty much everyone will want to experience. Being associated with a Relic Ruin makes that particular side mission pretty unique, but most of the side missions start in Fleet's End, the new Quen settlement, and more become available as you progress the main story, so definitely check back for quest icons after completing each main mission. Delver camps are a new type of side content, and they're a sort of secret series of side quests, a bit like mini relic ruins that also typically require you to fight some machines and lead you to some Brimshine, an important new resource. I haven't finished them all yet, but the data points seem to indicate these Oseram were on a treasure hunt for some gold stone, which I assume is a bunch of Brimshine. Brimshine is needed to purchase all the new legendary weapons, outfits, coils, and weaves, and it's also required for most of the upgrade levels on the weapons and outfits. So it's a good idea to spend some time searching for Brimshine because you're going to need a lot of it to buy and upgrade any new gear you want. We'll talk more about gear in a minute, but a good trick for finding Brimshine easily is to create a job for an item that requires it, which will then cause a Brimshine location to show up on the map. Those Delver camps also seem to always lead to some Brimshine, and you can also find it underwater if you do some swimming, or diving with the Water Wing once you have it. Even while you still have the original Sun Wing though, you should definitely take a flight up into the clouds once you arrive, because you can seriously go really high. And try to find some of these storm clouds to fly into. You can see at least one of these from Fleet's End, and I won't spoil what goes on there, but let's just say it's pretty unique and you should be prepared for a fight. I also really like the new Cauldron located over here. It had some cool new puzzle mechanics to figure out, and of course a good machine fight at the end. I think a lot of people will find this fight pretty difficult though, so make sure you're stocked up on ammo and resources before heading in. Combat is something I want to talk about as well, as it's definitely tough in the Burning Shores. Of course, it doesn't help that I'm on Ultra Hard and limiting myself to purple gear for more of a challenge, but it's more than that. What makes Burning Shores combat challenging is the fact that you're going to have a lot of encounters with groups of medium and small machines, as opposed to one big one. Think Clamberjaw fights as opposed to taking on a Slaughter Spine, although it's more like Clamberjaw fights on steroids. Seriously, I think Gorilla checked the stats to see what machines we all struggle with the most and then just put them all in the Burning Shores. We've got Clamberjaws, Shellwalkers, Wide Maws, Leap Lashers, Glinthawks, Longlegs, plus lots of burrowers mixed in. No joke, I've run into groups of like 10 of these machines all mixed together. Plus, sometimes a big guy like Tremmy wants to get in on the fun, so it can quickly become a massive brawl. Of course, you can also find Fireclaws, Scorchers, Slaughter Spines, and some of the other large machines at new sites around the Burning Shores, but it's the battle with swarms of small and medium machines that are really the most difficult to win. I think Gorilla chose this very intentionally to force us to be more tactical in combat. It's absolutely frustrating at times, but I actually think I like the change. It forces us to use different strategies and plan things out more carefully before diving in, similar to how Aloy would really have to. To help you out though, I do have some build recommendations, plus Gorilla has given us some new tools we can utilize too. First, having a good rope caster is key, as it's the best way to immobilize machines and take control of a chaotic fight. Personally, I generally don't play with a rope caster because I feel they usually make things a little too easy, but I've needed it a few times here in the Burning Shores, especially with my all-purple loadout, so I definitely recommend you have one ready to use as well. The best one you can get before heading to the shores is the Elite Ropecaster, available to purchase in Thornmarsh, but we actually do have a new legendary Ropecaster for sale in Fleet's End, so you might want to prioritize picking that up and getting it upgraded. You'll also want a solid weapon for applying frost. Of course, the Sun Scourge is the best you can get, but at a minimum you should have an upgraded Seeker Hunter bow. A good shock weapon is also pretty useful, particularly for a couple of the new machines. I generally use shock shredders to deal shock damage, but a bow is definitely easier to use and can trigger shock canisters as well. The Death Seeker, purchasable with arena medals, is the best, but the Lightning Hunter bow, a reward from the Need to Know side quest, is a solid option too. For dealing damage, I recommend using a good sharpshot bow, like Earig's Downfall, the Forge Fall, Regala's Wrath, or the Delta. The focus shot weapon technique is still my preferred method of drawing a sharpshot bow for an easy extra 30% damage. Advanced precision arrows will burn through your volatile sludge pretty quickly though, so you'll want a weapon that uses cheaper ammo too. Normally, I'd recommend a Bolt Blaster, but with how often you're going to be fighting groups of machines, a warrior bow is the better choice. The Karja's Bane loaded up with critical hit chance coils is my top pick. As I've been adjusting to the Burning Shores combat, I've been drawn to the Chain Burst Valor Surge as well. My typical go-to Ranged Master is still great, but Chain Burst really shines in these multiple machine brawls. A strat I've found really effective is to bait all the machines into bunching up, pop the Chain Burst Valor Surge, then start freezing whichever is weakest to frost. Once they're frozen, get in as many high damage shots as you can with the Sharp Shot and Warrior Bows. If the enemies are close enough to each other, the damage will chain between them, allowing you to take out multiple machines at once, or at least weaken a lot of them. Of course, the elemental buildup also changed, so even if I destroy the first machine, there's a decent chance I'll have some other brittle machines to target next, or at least I'll be able to get them fully frozen more quickly. To make all of this easier, you can tie machines down with the Ropecaster. Remember, you need to at least partially draw the Ropecaster to get ropes to attach through armor plates. Tap firing won't work. Also, one of my favorite tricks is to target armor plates with elemental arrows, like frost arrows, while machines are tied down. Armor plates don't block elemental buildup, but they do block elemental impact damage. So targeting a plate allows you to build up the elemental state without fully degrading the tie down. Check out my advanced combat tips video for a bunch more tips like that. And if you guys are enjoying this video and looking forward to more Burning Shores and Horizon content, leaving a like would be much appreciated. It really does help me out. Some of the new skills were also clearly designed to help with these multiple enemy fights. We got 2 new active skills and a the Valor Surge in each branch of the skill tree, and if you have extra skill points from New Game Plus, you can use them to purchase the new skills right away. I'll definitely be doing a dedicated video on the new Valor Surges, and I'll also probably dive deeper on the new active skills, but there's a few noteworthy ones I want to point out here. I think the Grapple Strike, which we saw in a promotional video, will become a mainstay in most players' combat. Similar to the R1 Critical Strike we've always had, this is a spear attack you can use on machines that have been immobilized from a knockdown, the shocked state, or tied down with ropes. While the target is down, you can run up and hit the jump button twice, just like when you use a grapple point, and Aloy will pull caster herself into the air where you get a prompt to tap R1. You can tap R1 right away, but you should actually wait until the outer ring closes in and the thick inner band turns green. This will ensure you get a resonator blast when stabbing the machine. Follow up with a quick shot to explode the resonator, and in some cases, if you're really quick, you can even sneak in a regular R1 Critical Strike for even more damage. The healing smoke bomb skill is also great, as it turns your regular smoke bombs into a version that also heals you. Regular smoke bombs were already really useful for regaining control of a fight, so being able to get a bit of a healing boost from them is excellent. Depending on which difficulty you're playing on, you may also want to check out the Berserk Blast Valor Surge. This is basically the same idea as Radio Blast, only instead of shocking surrounding machines, it instantly applies the Berserk state to them, causing them to attack each other. However, machines in the Berserk state will still attack Aloy if you're too close, so you basically want to pop this and run. If you can pull it off, the machines will do a lot of the work for you as they fight each other. I can't say I've had a lot of luck with this on ultra hard because machine health is so high, but when I tested on lower difficulties it worked pretty well. There's a bunch more tips and tricks for the Burning Shores I want to cover in future videos. Some are small, like the thermal updrafts you can ride with the shield wing, which are actually pretty useful for repositioning in combat. And others will be deep dives on bigger topics like all the new legendary weapons and outfits. Low-key though, I think the new coils and weaves are actually the bigger game changers. So if you guys are looking forward to more Burning Shores and Horizon content, leaving a like on this video would be much appreciated. And for more tips on getting ready for Burning Shores, you can check out this video right here. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.